So what's neat about the Express is that when we started, I was a young guy, was just having kids. Jackson, my son, was born just weeks before we opened up the Dell Diamond. But there's people that have been there from day one.
You have to start with Reed, and then you go to Jay, and then you go to Jay Miller and Dave Fendrick. And I can remember being in those, before this ballpark opened up, in trailers. We actually had trailers out here in the mud, and just really getting to know those guys and getting to know everybody in the community.
When Wendy Abramson, Wendy Gordon at the time, came on board, and Wendy's loud and positive to begin with, but when she's loud and positive in a double wide trailer, pretty much you knew when anybody entered or left the trailer or when somebody called the office, because you got it in one ear when you were trying to have a conversation with the other.
The biggest reason we became a family is we hung out in each other's bathrooms. I mean, the biggest rooms in that trailer were the men's room and the ladies' room, and so that's where we kept all our office supplies. So we were constantly in each other's bathroom, and you can't hang out in someone's bathroom and not become a family, right?
Wendy Gordon has been with us from the very early days as our receptionist, and she was the K-lady up on the roof before we expanded.
Well, I loved that. I felt like the luckiest person on the face of the earth, and I wouldn't have stepped down if I didn't get so old.
If anybody needs to do anything, is hang out with Wendy for 3 hours. She's wonderful just to begin with. And her cheering on a roof with her foam fingers, waving her fingers, but also waving her feet like she's a toddler who can't reach the floor and is just kicking back and forth. And then having to run down, scream because she missed the last and wasn't sure if it was a swinging strike or a looking strike, and how do I, forwards or backwards, and she's yelling into the radio, forwards or backwards, and then running down the roof to hang a K.
But it's neat because, she's not changed. She's still the greatest ambassador that we could have for the first person that you see when you walk into our offices, or the first person that you hear if you call our office.
I just always felt so blessed to be able to have fun every single day, and that's what I love about my job as a receptionist. I do have fun. I don't have the stress, I don't have the pressures, I have the smiles because, and I feel like I laugh more than anybody else in the office because everything's fun. You just greet people with a smile and go from there.
But August 1999, started in the trailer in the parking lot with Wendy, myself, Mike Capps, JJ, and Dave Fendrick. All of us were in that trailer where Salt Lick sits now, back in '99 while the stadium was being built, while this was just a cornfield back then.
I want to mention that in the trailer, Reed one day said to us, I want you all to come in jeans tomorrow. I want you all to come in boots tomorrow. I've got gloves, we're baling hay. So I was like, this is the coolest job in the world. You never know what you're gonna show up to do each day. But I mean, that's really awesome. They had, the land was not developed and they certainly grew hay. So someone had to bale it, it was us, it was fun. Big old day baling hay.
Obviously I've been a baseball guy and a sports guy growing up, but the behind the scenes and the business part of baseball is really what I've learned over the years. And there's so many great memories that stand out.
So one of my favorite memories was in 2009 when we honored the 1959 Austin Senators. In 1959 they had won the Texas League Championship and then went on to win a Pan American Series where they played teams in Mexico. And it was kind of my project that year, track down most of the team, and they were all over the country. We got them here. It was obviously the 50th anniversary of them winning that championship, and our fans were amazing for it. I remember in the middle of the game, I believe it was in the 7th inning, we gave them championship rings, which they had never received when they won the championship. They weren't really celebrated at all. And so these people were in their 70s, some in their 80s, and their children were here. We flew them in, again, from all over the place. Their families came, children, grandchildren, and got to see their parents or grandparent like they never had as a baseball player. And when we gave them those championship rings, everybody was on their feet. And I have chill bumps right now thinking about it, but everybody was on their feet in the stadium, and it was just a really magical, wonderful moment. And I still keep in touch with quite a few of them too.
Thinking about some of the memories, of course, just looking around my office right now and looking at some of the pictures, of course my heart goes number one to that 2015 season. What a phenomenal run on the baseball side, but the personal tragedy with Janet getting diagnosed. Just looking how the Ryan and the Sanders family kind of rallied behind us, and the whole community around Rock, and then of course more importantly our staff. Just the way that they loved on us, and that's something that will forever be in my heart, and really kind of makes Round Rock Express what it is to me.
The personal memories, I think, are the ones that will always stay with me. My son proposing to his future wife here at the ballpark. I mentioned my grandkids, coming out to the games and enjoying being out here, in the Father's Day catch. So it's those personal memories that I think I'll hold on to forever.
I often say that I've forgotten more than I remember, and 19 seasons are quite a blur. But I guess it's not so much one memory as it is the people.
Obviously, Chris Almendarez, our president, is one of my best friends, a guy who started when I did, a few months before me, but we've been in this game with the Express for 10 seasons together, and so that's something that we have similar backgrounds. Although I was Dallas, he was Houston, so we may like different professional teams. But he's somebody who played JUCO ball with me, D1 baseball, so we're baseball guys and understand that. Obviously, people like Henry Green, Laura Fragoso, Wendy Abramson, Debbie Coughlin, Gary Frankie, these guys that have been here for 15, 18, 20 years. And I think it's a big thing about the staff is that in minor league baseballs, I've learned it in these 10 years, people don't stay with organizations for 10, 15, 20 years. And a lot of that is certainly a credit to the people who are here, but it's a credit to this ownership group, it's a credit to this region and this wonderful city that people want to stay here that long. So there's really too many to name, and people have been here a really, really long time, and I'm just fortunate to be a part of that.
I can remember very vividly my first day in 2002 is walking in and just noticing how small the staff was. It's probably half the size of what it is today, but back then our primary focus was only baseball. There was nothing else, but I recall not having a lot of resources back then, so everybody wore lots of hats to get things done. But what that did was it created a real close-knit group of people kind of working together. So it was challenging, but on the same hand, very fulfilling to have everybody pulling in the same direction.
I think for the most part, the thing that stands out the most is just the camaraderie of the staff. We spend a lot of time together, sometimes more than we do with our own families. So it has to be mutual understanding, mutual respect for what everybody does and what everybody kind of brings to the stadium. Just developing that relationship over the years and becoming more of a family-based environment. Yes, we're co-workers, but it's more of a family atmosphere.
Where I'm originally from, New Orleans, people don't leave New Orleans. It's a culture thing, it's a family thing. And this is the first place I've lived outside of New Orleans. And I feel that family vibe here. Our ownership is very family oriented. And we spend so much time together that we all become a family.
We go through it together. We feel each other's pain and we feel each other's happiness when we have babies and when we grow, or when my 6-year-old wins the T-ball championship game. We do all of this together and feed off of each other, goods and bads. So how else does that not become family?
We truly are a family here at the Express. I wouldn't be here for 19 seasons if not. I've been able to grow up here. This is my, a family for me, and started my own family. I met my husband here.
Yeah, I couldn't be happier to be able to have Fielder run around and enjoy the stadium. One of the main expressions for Ryan Sanders baseball, it's a family-friendly environment, and people just think that might be our, name tag or that cliche. But it's really true. I mean, we see all of our kids running around, enjoying the ballpark, having a good time, and just growing up and being around baseball and the game and the staff, I think, is an everlasting memory for the kids. So whether they're helping out on the field or running around the office or rolling down the berms or getting into trouble, whatever it may be, it's just it's fun to see the kids kind of grow up together, all in the same environment, and just appreciate what the Ryan Sanders baseball family has built.
It's fun. It's fun that I get to be in a giant playground. I get to work in a giant playground that for my kids. Every baseball stadium I take my kids to, not that I've taken them to many, I have to prepare them. This one doesn't have a playground. This one doesn't have what Dell Diamond has. It doesn't have what Whataburger Field had. And so if they see big lights, Mom, is that your work? If we're watching the Astros on TV, Mom, is that your work? Anything baseball related is, Mom, is that your work? It's so much fun. It's fun that my coworkers welcome my children with open arms.
It's funny, I think sometimes when they're here, when there's not a game and they can kind of run freely, they get used to that, and then there's thousands more people here and I have to say, well, let's stay with Mom. But it's great because everybody knows them. They're much more social children, I think, because from literally as small babies, they were in a baby carrier as I walked around and worked at games. So they're both very social, enjoy being around people, and I absolutely think that's due to the growing up at Dell Diamond.
You know, having both boys, you know, do camps and bat boy and just hang out, you know, at Dell Diamond. It's a magical place. And then, of course, both Chase and Luke had the opportunity to play in the Central Texas High School Coaches All-Star Game. And so they both finished their last baseball game, their last high school baseball game here. And that was a special moment. A couple weeks ago, Luke played in the game and Chase threw the first pitch out and Luke caught it. And, you know, somebody captured that picture. And it's something that's a memory that will always last. And, you know, I think about the other kids coming up, you know, they're going to have that opportunity to experience, you know, life, the baseball life, as we say, and it's just one of those things that it's very special. It's unique, but for my family it worked, and I'm very blessed that I got the opportunity to be involved with Round Rock Express and let my kids grow up in such a wonderful place.
I'm kind of jealous of my daughter. I mean, she has a chance to grow up here and know nothing but the Round Rock Express and to do some of the cool stuff she gets to do. So it really is truly a blessing to have a safe place for her to come out here. And, you know, it's like this extended family. You know, again, we're right in the middle of where our families are, Houston and Dallas. And so to have not only this 50-person front office staff, but this 200-plus event staff that knows Emma, know who she is, ask about her all the time. It's like having a bunch of aunts and uncles and grandparents and people that just love and care for her.
My family has grown up here. My Megan, my oldest daughter, she was 2 years old when we moved here. Abby was 6 months old. And so literally she's 20 years old. She's grown up with the ballpark. So it's a very unique situation. Tucker, our son, has grown up here. And now he's been here as a fan, as a kid running around the ballpark. Now he's working a baseball camp on the field right now, being one of the coaches. So it's a very awesome thing that hopefully I don't miss out on appreciating that much, because having my kids, having a job that my kids can come to and be with me and be a part of has been fantastic. Not only my kids, but my dad, Pops, as he's known, works here as well. He moved here 10 years ago, him and my mom, to be close to the grandkids around the ballpark, and he's been here ever since. He loves it, and it's a very unique, very honoring thing that on a game day, I try to make it a goal on a game day, is to go out before the gates open and talk to Pops. And it's a very great feeling of sitting in front of looking out on the Dell Diamond and talking to my dad. And we're both working here. It's a great experience.
The ownership group, it gets no better than the Ryan family. They really truly understand all the pieces of it, certainly the business, but the baseball aspect as well. And so work for people who understand that. They want to do what's best by the fans, by the sponsors, and by the players as well. And so they're a joy, obviously, to work for. Everything is family first. They treat it that way.
The reason I've been with Ryan Sanders Baseball is because it's such a great company to be a part of. They treat you like family. They treat you with respect. They give you an opportunity to grow and mature and move along through the company and through the ranks.
You can't beat our ownership group, the values that they have. I always say I love how progressive they are. You never know what's coming next, and I think that's so exciting because they're creative and have wonderful ideas of ways to expand the business, ways to improve Dell Diamond, challenge our staff in positive ways, and I don't think there's a better group in baseball that you could work for.
We are blessed to have what I believe is the best front office staff in baseball. And you know, we lose some folks over the years, and we've got people sprinkled around professional sports, which is very rewarding for me to go see those folks. But what's even more rewarding than that is to have people that have spent their entire career with us. And when you have somebody stay with an organization for 20 plus years, I think as an employer, that's the biggest compliment you can get.
It makes it special when you have people that have worked with us, JJ Gotch and Reese Ryan and myself, for so long, and they've put their lives in this organization. It's neat to see that these people have had a common vision for bringing joy to people's lives, delivering the game of baseball on a nightly basis, and being a part of something that's bigger than themselves. And I think at the end of the day, that's what this is really all about. We all want to be a part of something bigger than ourselves.